Hi, I'm Michaela, and this week I'm asking, how can we use digital technology to create a safe, respectful, and trusting learning environment for all students? As we're looking at the integration of technology into the classroom, especially at the elementary level, it's really important to look at how that affects students and the whole kind of classroom experience compared to a classroom even 20 years ago, let alone 80 years ago, that didn't have any computers or anything like that. And now each kid has an iPad or an iPhone or a laptop for a good portion of class time. So something that we need to focus on with students is digital citizenship. We need to be preemptively talking to them about what digital citizenship is, and building a respectful community both online and within our physical classroom. If we start this early, as soon as we get students onto computers and using technology, we won't have nearly as many issues to combat when they're in later elementary, junior high, high school, or even when we're dealing with adults in the world, because it won't be something that they started doing with cyberbullying, which is using digital technologies and social media to hurt others, basically, which is a lot easier for people to do because they get to hide behind the screen. And it's a lot harder to deal with and identify once it starts happening. So if we can combat that earlier on, we're not going to have so many issues with that later on. It's also good just to get kids seeing that respect isn't just when you're face to face, it's in everything you do and how you think about people and how you treat people. And if we build good digital citizenship, it leads to our students being better global citizens, having better respect for all people and in all places, and being able to communicate with others better and all of that kind of stuff. Also in Alberta, we have FOIP, which is the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. Basically, this means that personal information, specifically identifying information, can't be given out. So, for example, you don't need to give on a field trip form. If you're staying within the province, you don't have to give your Alberta healthcare number because FOIP prevents you from having to do that. If parents don't want pictures of their student or child released, then they can sign a form saying, nope, we don't want that to happen. So teachers and schools have to acknowledge and recognize FOIP. So it's also really important when we are allowing students to be on the internet and using technologies that they know what information they can share and what they should not be sharing, so that we're not breaking FOIP and so that we're not endangering them in a digital community also by putting their identity out there too much and making them vulnerable. So that's really good for students to learn about early on. Another thing I wanted to look at is kind of how technology affects the whole classroom, like the physical classroom, not just the students kind of on the online community, but how it's affecting the physical aspect of the classroom. So I looked at something we've talked about earlier on in my education program called the 21st Century Classroom. So basically this is a new way of setting up and looking at what a classroom should be like compared to any time in history previously. So I just did a little bit of research and found some of the key elements that comprise a 21st century classroom. And one of the first things is digital technology. In a classroom today, the theory is that there should be technology. It should be accessible to students. They should be knowledgeable about it, have access at all times, be able to share with each other, all that kind of thing. So having digital technology allows there to be better active and adaptive learning in a classroom. Something else that's important for a 21st century classroom is that it provides a chance for invitational learning. So it's an invitational environment, which kind of draws students in to learn. And technology, I think, is really good at doing that because kids are interested in iPads. They're interested in these things that they want to play with and experiment and all have experience with. And then another important aspect of the 21st century classroom is collaborative learning. So I think technology really helps students to be collaborative, although sometimes people view technology as maybe being a barrier to that because students are all sitting behind a different screen, things like that. But I think if used well, we can use technologies like smart boards or iPad games or things like that to really help students collaborate. Even things like Google Docs, even though they're behind different screens, they're working on the same thing. They're sharing what they're learning. They're contributing to the same thing. So I think a lot of collaborative learning can take place using technology. So that's kind of all I have to say on using digital technology for the classroom environment. If you have any other suggestions, please comment below. Thanks for watching.